Hey, welcome back to the farm. You can see behind me we have everything set up for our plant sale. We had our plant sale the first weekend of it this last weekend, and it went wonderful. I'll do some more videos on plant sale specifics in an upcoming video, but because we are forecasted to get frost again, I have everything kind of condensed, so that's why you see like an empty table. We got frost cloth that blew off yesterday because the winds were high. It's kind of a mess in here, but before I clean that up, I'm gonna get some tomatoes planted because I feel like I'm really far behind on that. I know that I'm not, but we're in a high tunnel. I could have probably planted last weekend, just didn't have time. So I'm gonna do that today before I really get going on other plant sale stuff and getting things organized. And I'm just gonna have a little bit of fun and relax while I'm planting these. I'm gonna do some beds wool pellets and some beds some organic fertilizer because I want to see the comparison between the two. During the plant sale we had 2 more ewes lamb, so one had twins, one had a single, so we are just down to 1 ewe that needs to lamb. She's out grazing, so she doesn't look like she's gonna have it anytime in the next few hours, but that was exciting for some people. And we had extreme weather. Friday was hot and extremely windy, and the winds were coming from the west, so they were blowing straight in the end doors of the high tunnel, blowing plants off. And then that night it got really cold, and the next day it was supposed to just be a mist all day, and we had lots and lots and lots of rain, like downpour, but lots of people still came out, so that was wonderful. And then that night we had a heavy freeze. So I'm kind of over the weather fluctuations. Just when I'm getting used to the warmth, we have a day or two of warmth, then it gets really cold and rainy. I'm not used to this. We've been stuck in a drought for so long. It's always been above average for like the past 3 years that I am not used to cool, rainy weather. I kind of don't know what to do. So I'm trying to methodically go through this in my mind. Right now we have 6 beds. I will probably add a couple more, but the problem I'm having is figuring out where to put what. And the prairie fire, you guys know those are my favorite. And I have 12 of those plants. Those are pretty much do not prune. And then I have 2 determinate tomatoes that I would like to add to the same bed. So then that way, if I have people come in and help me, then I can be like, do not prune the suckers off of those at all in this entire bed. That way it keeps it simpler. So I think I'm going to do in this bed here, the prairie fire and the do not prune ones. I was thinking of putting the cherry tomatoes up in those 3 beds. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm thinking I'm going to add another couple beds for canning and slicing tomatoes just because my math isn't mathing. And so I'm going to get started on these. Right now what's in this bed is compost from our big compost pile. And then we have that bagged mixture over there. And so we're going to put that on top. But first I am going to put Garden Tone organic fertilizer on the whole bed. I'm not doing the auger holes. I forgot. I'm in a raised bed. I don't need to. We'll just dig the hole down to the existing dirt from the high tunnel and plant right into that, and it should go a lot faster too. So these are all prairie fire, and then there's one Tasmanian chocolate that's a determinant in this bed. Still have to hook up irrigation, and then I have to staple that ground cover down really well. But then we're going to repeat that process over here. Instead of using the fertilizer though, we're going to use wool pellets. There we go. We got 22 tomatoes planted. I can fit 23 in here with the spacing the way it is. I just have one spot for another determinate tomato, and so I'm leaving that one empty for right now because I haven't decided how many of what I am growing yet. I'm getting closer. I'm gonna need to build more beds, definitely. I was gonna do 18-inch, maybe even 12-inch spacing on these, but my spacing on doing the indeterminate, or the determinate and the semi-indeterminate bed, I did the 2-foot spacing in each row when I staggered them. That's what I did 2 years ago and prior to that. And so I just followed that over because I wasn't even thinking. And I want all the ground cover to be the same because I want to be able to market tomatoes, roll it up, and then use it year after year and not have to worry about what they are for. So I am going to need to build more beds because if I do 23 and I have 3 sets right now, that is 69, and that is definitely not as many tomatoes as what we need. So it kind of puts me in a pickle. So I need to think, and I need to build a couple more beds. I know that that's okay. I have plenty of space to do that in. It just is not what I wanted. So this smaller bed is the one with the sheep pellets in it, and I just sprinkled them all over it. That was about 4 cups worth of pellets, and I think the recommendation is about half a cup per gallon for a planter. So that should be really well. And then we put the compost, the bagged compost on top of that. And then that one, I use the Espoma vegetable fertilizer in between the 2 layers of the compost. So we will see how these guys do. But right now, I had ordered some bare root raspberries, and so I'm going to plant those right here, right next to my thornless blackberry bush. And so I'm going to get those put in here because I need to get them planted. And I'm hoping that then that way I can have raspberries earlier in the season. And they are not, we have raspberries popping up all over here because they're wild here. But these are, one is a golden raspberry and one is another type. I don't remember what it was. And so they're kind of like more specialty. So I want to keep those separate, and so then that way I know how to prune them and how to take care of them. So I started weeding. You can tell I've been watering. These guys are really starting to, I should get raspberries off of these this year. There we go. They're really starting to bud out, which is wonderful to see. And so I'm just weeding. And these, they almost look like zinnias, but they aren't. I know that. That's a weed. Oh, look at those pretty leaves. Man, this is going to be really nice. I'm excited for these blackberries. We don't get thornless blackberries in our area. We don't want to do too much. That's perfect. That one's a nice one. Now it's cold again. All right, there we go. So we got some of the raspberries planted. That's all that I'm going to put in here. We have wild raspberries growing like crazy already in here. So I don't want to add more to that, but I do want to have some other varieties that I know what they are instead of just like the wild or farm, what are they called? Like homestead strawberry or raspberries? I don't know. Anyways, I do have probably another 6 or 8 plants. So I'm going to go find somewhere outside to plant those, and we'll see if they take off. They've been sitting in a garbage bag for like a week. And so I'm going to see, maybe we can revive them, but I got to find a good spot for them first. That is it for today's video. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time.